There's a silent mistake millions of people make every single day. And the worst part is, they believe it makes them a good person. They say yes when they want to say no. They tolerate disrespect. They give more than they receive. And slowly, without even realizing it, they become invisible. This is the dark truth no one tells you. Being too nice is not kindness. It's self-destruction. Because in a world driven by power, perception, and psychology, niceness without boundaries doesn't earn respect. It invites exploitation. Think about it. Have you ever noticed how the nicest person in the room is often the least valued? They're the ones people ignore. The ones people interrupt. The ones people take for granted. Not because they lack worth, but because they never demand it. And here's where it gets uncomfortable. People don't treat you based on your intentions. They treat you based on what you allow. Let that sink in. From a psychological perspective, humans are wired to test limits. We constantly observe how far we can go with someone. Not consciously, but instinctively. And when someone shows no resistance, no boundaries, no consequences, the brain registers one thing. This person is safe to exploit. It's not personal. It's behavioral conditioning. You train people how to treat you. Every single day. Now here's the dangerous illusion. You believe that if you are kind enough, patient enough, giving enough, people will eventually appreciate you. But reality doesn't work like that. Because respect is not built on sacrifice. It's built on strength. And strength requires limits. Let me tell you something most people never realize. The moment you stop saying no, your yes loses all value. If you're always available, you become replaceable. If you're always agreeable, you become forgettable. And if you never stand up for yourself, you become invisible. This is why the most respected individuals are not the nicest ones. They are the ones who know when to be kind and when to be cold. Now don't misunderstand this. This is not about becoming rude. This is not about becoming selfish. This is about balance. Because there is a massive difference between being kind and being weak. Kindness is a choice. Weakness is a lack of boundaries. And people can feel the difference instantly. Let's go deeper. There's a psychological principle called reinforcement. Whenever you reward a behavior, it increases. So when someone disrespects you, and you stay silent, you reward that behavior. When someone crosses your boundaries, and you tolerate it, you reinforce it. And over time, what started as a small act of disrespect becomes a pattern. And that pattern becomes your identity in their eyes. The one who will tolerate anything. Now here's where it becomes dangerous. The longer you stay in that pattern, the harder it becomes to break. Because people don't like when the version of you they benefit from suddenly changes. The moment you start setting boundaries, they will call you different. They will say you've changed. They might even accuse you of being selfish. But here's the truth. You didn't change. You just stopped allowing them to take advantage of you. And that threatens their comfort. So they resist. And this is the moment where most people fail. They go back to being nice. Because they don't want conflict. But understand this. Avoiding conflict doesn't create peace. It creates resentment. And resentment slowly destroys you from the inside. So what should you do instead? You need to develop what most people lack. Controlled power. The ability to say no without guilt. The ability to walk away without fear. The ability to choose yourself, without needing approval. Because the moment you do that, Everything changes. People start respecting your time. Your energy. Your presence. Not because you demanded it, but because you demonstrated it. Let me give you a powerful shift in mindset. Stop trying to be liked. Start trying to be respected. Because being liked is temporary. Respect is lasting. People may like you for what you give them, but they respect you for what you refuse to tolerate. And that is where your power lies. Now here's something even deeper. Most people who are too nice aren't actually doing it for others. They're doing it out of fear. Fear of rejection. Fear of conflict. Fear of being alone. So they overcompensate. They give more. They tolerate more. They sacrifice more. Hoping it will secure connection. But real connection doesn't come from self-abandonment. It comes from authenticity. And authenticity requires courage. The courage to say, this is who I am. This is what I accept. And this is what I don't. And if someone walks away because of that, let them. Because the right people don't require you to shrink. To stay. Now imagine this version of yourself. You speak less, but with intention. You give, but with limits. You help, but without losing yourself. You are calm, but not passive. Kind, but not weak. Respectful, but not submissive. That version of you is powerful. And people feel it instantly. Not because you said anything, but because your behavior communicates it. Here's a simple rule to remember. If someone only values you when you're giving, they don't value you. They value what you provide. And the moment you stop providing, they disappear. That's not a loss. That's clarity. So stop over-giving. Stop over-explaining. Stop over-sacrificing. You don't need to prove your worth. You need to protect it. Because in the end, the world doesn't reward the nicest person. It rewards the person who understands human nature. And moves with awareness. So be kind. But never at the cost of yourself. Because the moment you lose yourself trying to please everyone, you lose everything that makes you valuable. And once you understand this, you stop being used. And you start being respected. If this made you see things differently, then you're starting to wake up. Subscribe now, because the next video might change how you see people forever.